I'm Heather Jenkins from Hand2Mind. Welcome to our Teach at Home curriculum. This is the kindergarten, week 5, day 4 literacy video. This morning I was making some crafts, and one of the crafts that I made was a paper chain. When I saw the chain, it got me thinking about the stories that we read, and how in each story there are events or things that happen in the story that fit together to make the beginning, middle, and end of the story. Today we're going to be talking about identifying events in a story. Every story has different elements or parts to the story that help the story make sense when you read it from beginning to end. One of those story elements are events. Events are things that happen in a story. Every story has different events that happen during it. You might have a story about someone who forms their own basketball team and wins the championship game. You might have a story where some of the events involve a girl writing a letter to a famous athlete that she likes. Or you might have a story where two kids spend their summer vacation at the beach. The events in a story usually happen in a certain order. Stories have beginnings, middles, and ends. Just like the different links in a chain, when the beginning, middle, and end of a story are put together, then the entire story makes sense. If one of the events from the story was missing, then, like the links of a chain, the chain would be broken and the story probably wouldn't make sense. When we read stories, there are certain words that can help us figure out the order of the events in a story, or what happens in the beginning, middle, and end. These are words like first, next, and last. Now, we're going to read a short story. Then, we're going to talk about some of the events in the story. Follow along as I read the story out loud. Eric likes to make art. First, he draws a frog. Next, he colors the frog green. Last, Eric shows it to his mom. She loves it. Eric smiles. We're going to read the story one more time. And I want you to think about what events happen in the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. Because after we read the story a second time, we're going to figure out what events should go in these boxes to describe the beginning, middle, and end of the story. Follow along as I read the story aloud again. Eric likes to make art. First, he draws a frog. Next, he colors the frog green. Last, Eric shows it to his mom. She loves it. Eric smiles. Now, as we were reading the story the second time, did you see any words that might help us figure out the order of the events in this story? Go ahead and point to any of the words that you saw that might help us figure out the order of the events on the screen. When we were reading the story for the second time, I noticed 3 different words that could help us figure out the order of the events in the beginning, middle, and end of the story. First, I saw the word first. In the story, it says, first he draws a frog. Then I saw the word next. So after Eric draws the frog, next he colors the frog green. And then finally, I saw the word last, meaning that the last thing Eric does is he shows it, which is the picture, to his mom. Now, I'm going to give you 15 seconds on a countdown timer, And I want you to think about what event happened at the beginning of the story, in the middle of the story, and at the end of the story. Ready, set, go! Time's up. Now, let's work together to tell the events in the story that we read that were in the beginning, middle, and end of the story. First, let's touch the red link in our chain. Now, let's tell the event that happened in the beginning of the story. First, Eric draws a frog. Now, let's touch the yellow link in our chain as we tell about what happened in the middle of the story. So first, Eric draws a frog. Next, Eric colors the frog green. Now, let's touch our blue link as we tell about what event happened at the end of the story. First, Eric draws a frog. Next, Eric colors the frog green. And last, Eric shows his mom the picture. You did a great job with today's lesson. Thank you for watching this video about identifying events. If you'd like to practice identifying events in other stories, please visit our website where you can download, print, and do other activities. Have a great day!